Welcome to the Music Break channel. My name is Ernesto. Today we are going to cover the Drawmer MQ-2. So this is a unit that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while. Earlier this year at the 2025 NAMM show, I saw that they had released this new piece and I said to myself, I need to get my hands on one. And yes, I use the word need or needed. I'm guilty of that as well. There are a couple of reasons. One, Drawmer makes good products. Number two, price point. Number three, well, I've never owned anything Drawmer. Number four, it's a stereo unit, which is very important to me. I'll talk more about that later. Number five, there is a one-button compressor. And number six, which I think is the most obvious one, at least to me, the fact that this particular unit is a 7-band equalizer. We're gonna find out how this thing performs in a moment, but before we do that, I will ask you to do me a favor. Go ahead and smash the like button. If you like the type of stuff that we're talking about on this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's get right to it. For our first example, I've pulled up a song that I recorded some years ago. Let's play it first so you can hear it. Now that you've heard the song, I decided to go ahead and beef up the drums. So I have insert 7 and 8 set up for the Drawmer MQ-2. So we're not touching 12.5K or 5K, but we are gonna take out some of the 2K. And then to address some of the boxiness in the snare, I'm dropping back on 800. We're gonna beef up a little bit at 320 and also at 130 Hertz. And there's just about a dB or so on 50 Hertz. The Drawmer MQ-2 is a proportional EQ, which simply means that the width of the filter, whether you're boosting or you're cutting, is going to be very narrow. So the more you boost or cut, it just becomes more focused, which can be extremely helpful when you are trying to target certain frequencies that maybe it's something you want to enhance, or might be an area where you're finding some kind of problem with that specific frequency and you just want to probably adjust a little bit of it. This really, makes it extremely useful. That's one of the things I like about it. And on top of that, you can boost or cut up to 10 decibels. So I think that's pretty cool as well. But there's also a true bypass button. So apparently this is all hand wired, true bypass. So like when I want to A and B, like, okay, did I really make this thing better? Or have I really targeted the issue? I just hit the bypass button and the unit is completely out of the circuit, or the signal is no longer going through all of that process and I can just hear clearly what's going on. So I think those are some really good things with using this particular piece. So for our drum bus, I mentioned that I made some cuts where I would then make up for some of that. I'm using Infuse, and this is the plugin that I'm using on the mix bus to gain back some of that top end. So let's take a listen to the before and after. MQ-2 will be off. All right, let's try this. Now the MQ-2 is on. You can hear a clear difference there. The snare sounds a lot beefier and more solid in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and deactivate the Infuse plugin that's on our mix bus. And now that we've deactivated that, we are going to use the MQ-2 instead. All right, so let's take a listen to this. It's in bypass, and I'll start dialing in settings.
let's go ahead and use the compressor.
The MQ-2 has a program-dependent one-knob compressor.
All right, might be a little too aggressive here. Let's go ahead and reset the compressor.
I think this particular unit has something that is really nice, and that it has a crush button, which adds more harmonics and saturation to the signal. And you can dial it to taste, which I think is pretty fantastic.
All right, so for our front bus, I'm going to attempt to use the crush feature. And again, insert 7 and 8. So here's what's going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and play this in bypass, and then I'll start dialing it in. Here we go. Our crush button is in. All right, let's bypass it. Crush is in again and out. All right, so you may or may not use crush all the time, but it does add a nice extra texture there.
I love the fact that this unit has the stereo lead meter, so you can actually see what's happening physically. You have a physical reference to see what's going on with your level. So if I'm boosting or cutting, or if I decided to engage the compressor, I can see exactly how much compression is being applied. And so those are some things that I find that are very, very, very helpful. We're going to test the MQ-2 on this vocal that I captured from a mic pre-shootout. I'll be posting that video in the near future. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So here is the song. We're going to have the MQ-2 in bypass first, and here we go.
So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts.
So we got rid of that plosive on the beat.
The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind. The pressure keeps on building. So many thoughts run through my mind.
And so one of the reasons why I decided to pick up a stereo unit is because when you're using mono units to make moves, you have to make sure that both the left and the right channel are done equally the same. What I love about the Drawmer unit, when I boost or cut a frequency, it applies those changes to both the left and the right channel simultaneously. Most of the units I have in my rack, they are mono units. So if I'm making changes to the left channel, I have to mirror it on the right channel as well. And so that means dialing in on one unit and then going to the other unit and trying to match them. And sometimes it's difficult doing it when you don't have detented pots. So some of the units I have here are not detented, so it's kind of hard to match them, equally. One of the challenges I had when dealing with the Trident 80B, I did a video on that, so I'll probably post it somewhere around here so you guys that haven't seen it can check it out, is that it's a mono unit. And so I'm having to dial in settings both on the left unit and on the right unit just to make sure that both my left and right channels are dialed in equally the same. And that's very difficult to do because the knobs, they're not detented. And so those are some of the drawbacks when you're using an EQ that is a mono unit. So I think stereo is a great thing to have, especially on stereo channels or on your stereo bus. Having a stereo unit can make a world of difference. So anyway, that's one of the main reasons why I felt that this stereo unit was really good. Of course, the price went. I believe there is another EQ at the time of this video, at the time of this recording. SSL has the ultraviolet, I believe that's the name of it, and it's actually priced quite well. I do like the offering that Drawmer has because it includes a one-button compressor, which you can obliterate using the crush mode, or you can add some rich harmonics and just dial it into taste. So those are some of the things that I find really helpful. I don't own the SSL ultraviolet, but the reviews I've seen on other channels shows that it's a very good unit. It's priced pretty nicely as well. But this Drawmer definitely is in a league of its own. I have to give a shout out to the folks over at Sweetwater. I had one issue, all right? And the issue was the unit arrived, everything worked, and a week later, I started noticing that the unit was starting to act up. I don't know exactly why. The unit would just power off by itself. It would be on for about a good, 20, 30 seconds, and then suddenly it would just power off. I will say that, it was a B stock unit that I ordered. I'm not gonna lie about it. B stock usually means that it's an open box and, it should work just as a new one. So anyways, the folks over at Sweetwater, they were really cool. They managed to send me back a new unit within 24 hours. I was in the middle of mixing something, and that's when I realized I actually missed this piece because it was really making a difference in my mix. And so the moment I didn't have access to a working one, I realized I need to get a replacement ASAP. And so they were able to do that for me. So huge shout out to Sweetwater. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I don't have any affiliate links for Sweetwater yet. Maybe I should get one, but I just want to give credit to where it's due. I got on their case about it, and they were really good about getting stuff back to me very quickly. As always, it's so nice to be able to share different things with you guys. The reason why I decided to do this video, because I did not see very many videos on the Drawmer MQ-2. What I would like to ask you guys, if you have found this video or any of the things that we shared on this channel to be useful, please go ahead and give this video a like. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Until then, have fun and stay safe. One of the other things to note about the Drawmer MQ-2 is that it is a proportional, I'm gonna say that word again, proportional Q, or that it has a proportional Q. So anyways, that's one of the things I like about it.